Hello, Hello, everyone.
That was bad timing.
I thought perfectly, and you went.
It's one of those half hiccup, half burst where it's just the air gets sucked into the lungs and forced out at the same time.
Just
Just like, am I
Get
dying?
stuck. Welcome to the podcast of stuff, episode 83. Oh, Happy New Year! We made it. It's 2018, and
Was there a
already,
doubt we would.
yeah, you know, Trump is
I
already.
mean, there's always a doubt. Dia and I just don't make it.
I wouldn't be surprised if I just was walking and just froze to death mid stride.
True.
The dude trying to shoot you the bullet just plops to the ground.
Not today.
It just stops in the air like Kylo Ren.
He's just like, here, bro, just take the 20.
Buy another bullet.
I don't know what bullets.
Only
cost. I'm
one.
not a criminal.
Only one. How was your guys'? Did you do anything for New Year's?
I had to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, so I went to sleep at like 10.
Ugh. Why? Why?
Oh, they got me on a new schedule where I'm opening at 5 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's quite lovely. Today, I was there at 5, and it was from 5 to 1, and then I went to the other store. No, it's 5 to 1:30, and then there's a 20-minute walk in between one store to the other, and then from 2 to 9:30. Hey, no breaks because somebody called off. Nothing to eat. I had a Pop-Tart, and now I'm drinking a RX Energy Arizona so that I will not collapse. It has all of the vitamins and nutrients that I so desperately need.
Is this science?
no calories.
Or
The results aren't quite in yet. The lab test did not go well.
human or rodent?
Other.
Chimera.
Now, is that the gender that they identify as?
That's not politically correct.
Oh, boy.
Drinking.
But yeah,
There was some dude that, it was legit. He was like, it was some inanimate object he identified as. It was like a stapler or something. I'm like, okay, there's a point.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh boy, watch your videos on those people are.
It's fine how you want to be identified, but don't give credence to people that are just like, I'm a hat today.
I'm an Apache helicopter. No, you ain't.
If you want to be a male, female, neither or both, I don't care. If you want to be some amalgamation of all, I don't care. But you're not a picture. Stop that. We shouldn't. It lightens actual issues of gender, how they want to be identified, to just go, today I'm paper. That no.
There's also something
they
called
have a real flat
headmates.
personality. Sorry, continue.
There's also something called headmates, where it's just like, hey, in my mind I have people talking to me, and it's fun. It's just like, no, you're belittling actually schizophrenic people by saying, hey, I have Mickey Mouse in my head and he's talking to me.
That's
It's
terrible.
like, yeah, it's there's a lot of Tumblr should just be shut down.
Really?
It just all originates there.
I don't know.
Scorched earth.
It has to be like, some of it has to just be strictly attention-seeking people.
Yeah,
Oh,
people wanting to fit
that's a
in
good
and-
segue. In the one major bit of news, did you guys see the shit with Logan Paul?
Oh yes.
Oh boy.
So for those,
You know there are people defending this
Yes.
man.
Oh,
because
yes.
there are children who are obsessed with them, and their minds cannot be changed.
Dude, YouTube personalities have warped the young minds of
Yeah.
people.
It's real bad.
Like,
It's legitimately
yeah.
bad.
So what happened, for those who don't know, is Logan Paul. He was like a pretty big Viner back when Vine was still a thing, and then he transitioned to YouTube once that died, and has become one of YouTube's cash cows. and he was in Japan, and he went to the suicide forest. It's a forest in Japan where a lot of people go to commit suicide. Has a very bad rap, and yada yada. They found a dead body and filmed it, and were like doing like making fun of it and comedy next to a dead body that killed itself.
What's terrible is the reason that person hung himself or killed himself. I never saw the video.
Neither.
It's
Yeah,
morbid.
I'm not.
This segues into a story. I once saw a person kill themselves on live stream. That was terrible. So the reason this person killed themselves is because he said he felt like people were always laughing at him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So he's dead, and then there's these people that are making jokes so people can laugh at
That's
him.
terrible.
Terrible.
I didn't know about that.
And a big thing too, it's just like, just in general, that was awful, an awful thing to do. But Japan as a culture has a very different respect for the dead than Americans do. So, just from a cultural and racist level, he stepped on some toes big time, hardcore.
But
And
some people don't care.
a lot of people are even stating just like, this one fucking idiot just made foreign relations and being a foreigner in Japan that much harder. And it's sadly true. I mean, like, foreigners aren't exactly welcome in Japan as it is now. This isn't exactly helping at all.
Just say everybody hates Americans.
Yeah.
Everywhere Americans go, it's just like in tourists, France, Europe, it don't matter. Don't nobody love us. And
Well,
now this is just even worse.
Yeah. So, granted, if anyone that watches him is watching us, that would be shocking. Just because nobody watches us. But yeah, fuck that guy. Don't
Yeah,
give him
super.
money. Don't give him views. And YouTube's not doing anything about it,
Of course not.
which is great because.
No, I saw somebody that said if you really cared, he was issued apology, took down the video, all that. If you really cared, you would donate your entire 2018 YouTube earnings to like suicide prevention.
None of that.
But that's an entire year salary. Like, I understand
none of that.
I understand what you're trying to do in terms of putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But your entire yearly salary, like, the dude still needs to eat. He's a complete piece of crap. But don't make someone destitute for a mistake. Now, still him. Just not make it realistic.
He issued an apology video today or yesterday or something, and people were very quick to note that he monetized it.
Oh, gee, you can't do that.
Yeah. It's
The
like-
worst apology video I've ever seen is T. Martin's after the CS:GO Lotto scam. He had his dog with him the entire time, and I just went, "My guy, come on, we see what you're doing." All right, are we ready for MK yet?
Just the only other little thing, and I haven't watched this trailer. I saw that they're making a Slender Man movie.
Yep.
Really, you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's been news. They had the first trailer out. People said it gave them Ring vibes.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
noticed they
all
actually had like the
discussion.
pieces of paper and stuff. Like, I haven't watched the trailer.
Do not care. Never liked the game. Never gonna like the game.
Apparently, his video is not monetized. He may have demonetized it throughout the day. Who knows? We'll never know. Okay. So, the main event of this podcast is...
Dude, we had 2 pre-show matches and now we're in the main event.
So, BG...
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, DEA. I put in the things, test your might, man. BG and DA have had many a discussion on the Mortal Kombat movie and how it's terrible. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In order to settle this debate once and for all, they both very recently, like within the last few days, watched the movie again and are going to duke it out right here and now. I'm told DA has notes.
Yeah, he always has notes.
This is the thing. He texted me that he had 11 notes in 3 minutes, and I said, this better not become a Pacific Rim. And he said, no, it's not going to become that. And then I came home like an hour later, and he said, dude, I don't think I'm going to finish this movie tonight. I have so many notes.
Now, this isn't exactly like a Pacific Rim where I'm just noting all the. I've also noted plot points, just funny little observations, because this is sort of like a precursor to the actual podcast that I want to start out. So I was just testing to see, you know, how the structure would go.
Versus the promos have been all of the many little arguments leading up to this point. So
How do we want to do this?
I leave the floor to both of you at this point.
All you do, pull up your list, read it out. We'll discuss the points.
Okay, we will go. We can go scene by scene with the movie, just like we do with the Avengers and all those other stuff.
I light
Bring
me a
up your
scented
list.
candle.
Okay.
Just get to relax.
Now,
First bubble bath running.
go take your pre and post podcast crap.
Yep.
Wines are flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, I could totally get some mead right now and just totally just
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Here it is.
click, play. Mortal Kombat. No.
The hype.
No, is that
The
the hype? Is that the hype?
Yes. It gets you pumped for the movie to come.
I don't think so.
Dude,
I
heard that and I got a big old. You went,
Yeah,
there's a smile on my face.
That's super cheesy.
Dude, when the
Out the gate, I'm just like, oh.
I watched Annihilation as well, and for
Did
some
you?
reason, when it played at Annihilation, I went, ugh.
Okay, so you
know what?
see that the
Probably-
reaction
no,
can be bad.
I can see why now. Because they just tried to do the exact same thing, and that's not how you're gonna do it. It's not gonna work that way. It's the hype.
I was just like, ugh, my sweet and sour Jesus.
You
This
can't hate
this
on
is
that
actually
song.
happening.
Dude, that song is
That song
fantastic.
that song is fine, but you know who gets top
It's not
billing in
fine.
that song?
It's quintessential
you know who
90s.
gets top billing in that
Kano.
song? Kano. For what reason?
Okay, here's the thing. For some reason, they
That's a
pseudo
callback.
went in alphabetical order.
And then he just didn't.
It should have been Johnny Cage first, but it went Kano, Liu Kang, Raiden.
Just switch those. It's
Exactly.
fine. Go hero villain.
Nope.
Kano.
I don't know why.
And then I went back to the title screen to see if it started at Kano, and it just doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It's just for some reason that apparently Swedish prog rock techno group just went Kano.
Yep.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
Completely acceptable because that song is amazing.
So the movie opens up with, as I put in my notes, because at this point I was just like, okay, let's see the ability of my note taking. So, evil guy in black, virtuous guy in red, standing awkwardly 2 feet from each other, arms at the side, as if an alien trying to desperately mask the fact that he's gay. They were just standing with their arms. It was just
I
weird.
know
I
the
was
scene.
just like, sweet Jesus.
I know
And
the
then they
scene.
just start fighting, and it's just a squash match.
It's a squash match, yes.
He's wearing this huge leather coat, and he just has that coat on for the entire movie. The island that they're on it looks so humid. There's wind blowing sometimes, and he's just in that coat the entire time.
Dude, that's legit. Like they shot that in Australia or something.
So that's
It's by
fine.
the ocean. It's super humid. He had to be miserable.
Okay, the dude, the Shao Kahn dude,
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, terribly sorry. The faces that he's making, he knows what kind of movie.
Exactly. This is the way I equate it. It's when old dude played Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Evolution. He knows what type of movies he is.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Yes.
It's just,
And I'm gonna tell you why the first MK movie worked and the second one didn't. Second one plays itself super serious. Like it is epic fantasy drama bush. This is schlocky in
But-
most the right way.
But the other
Most
one
the right
is
way.
slocky as well because
Yes,
they also
but it's
had to
also
pick up the
serious.
dust and do the Sonya Kiss thing.
Yes, this was schlocky
They're
In-
both slocky.
in most the right way. But this one knows it's schlocky. The other one is just like, we're a serious drama movie. Terrible. Picture it as hell on earth. No.
So after the Your Brother Soul Is Mine, Shang Tsung looks directly into the camera and his face morphs into a skull.
Yeah.
And I just wrote reference to something, question mark, comeback, question mark. It doesn't. It's a reference to nothing.
The closest thing I can say it's a reference to is his skull move from the game. But it's not.
That skull looked terrible, by the way.
It's 95. What do you want?
There's,
did it on-
there's some things that look good in this movie.
Reptile don't.
We're gonna get to that. That's
But-
coming.
But look, it's 95 on an $18 million budget. It's like 10% more,
If you're
or it's
gonna
like
do
10
it-
times more.
Okay. Why even have the skull then?
It's cool.
No, just have him break the neck or something. If you want a big wake up moment, do that. Don't just do a terrible looking skull.
It was cool.
It was
No.
cool.
Cool enough.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Okay,
for the time,
let
I'm
me
sure.
type up on the Dragon Ball Reddit and type and search for "it was cool." Let's see how many comments we'll see of that. You piece of
I
crap.
already said it looked terrible. It's forgivable for the times.
Okay, Liu Kang wakes up in this apartment. It's a green room, and I noted as many things as I could from his room. Would you like to hear what was in his room?
Sure thing.
It's a startlingly green lit room. I don't understand where he is.
Mhm.
I don't understand how he gets his money, but he just apparently has a very nice apartment with a bike on the wall.
Mhm.
You know, average. 2 hats, one red, one white, 2 dress shirts, both white, 1 dumbbell, around 15 pounds it looks like, 3 paintings on the floor, a white Michael Myers mask,
Oh,
and this one was the weirdest to me, a basketball. And I was just like, what kind of life does Liu Kang live? Because we don't know anything about him other than he was a monk that traveled to America for some reason.
He ran away after his brother died.
Or was it? No, it couldn't have been after his brother died because he wakes up, he goes over to the Western Union, he picks it up, and in big bold letters, it's Liu Kang dot brother dead dot in a long space return home grandfather. It's in all caps
So it must have just been that he ran away for some reason. I can't
for
remember.
some reason. What does he do for a living?
I don't know.
What
Do
he
we
likes
need to-
basketball and he
listen
likes
to me.
Viking.
Do we need to know what Liu Kang of Mortal Kombat
I
does
would
for
like
a
to,
living?
because he has a very nice apartment. I would like to know anything about this other gentleman.
He's
other
a
than
Goku man that does
other than
martial arts
he
stuff.
is the
for the
chosen one.
money.
He is the chosen one, and that's all we know about him. And he has a lot of weird stuff in his room. He also has like white shoes that I just didn't mark down for some reason.
I mean,
Okay.
BG, we really want to know what his stock investments are. I mean, we need to
Not
know.
stock investments. Why is there a basketball in his room?
Does he have a dental plan?
He's got some nice teeth. He's got some nice hair. He's got some nice abs.
What
I mean,
conditioner does he
wait.
use?
Okay, it's smash cuts to a bunch of TV, and the bottom of the screen, Hong Kong type, 12 font centered.
Correct.
I have big problems with
Dude,
font in movies.
I don't know why
And
you
this-
would
this-
ever center it. Put it in the left
No,
bottom
it's
corner.
centered. It is just the most plain white font is bad.
It wasn't Comic Sans.
It wasn't Common Sense. There's rock music playing. There is some sort of club.
Yeah. It's an underground Black Dragon Club. Because Kano.
Okay, must have missed that. Sonya cocks some sort of rifle shotgun with a light on it.
It's a shotgun with a light on it. It's terrible.
No, it's also a rifle because she shoots it from long distance at a
Yeah,
dude.
she does. It's
What is that gun?
terrible.
future tech, I suppose.
I already know what you're about to say for one of these, and I completely agree. This is terrible.
At this point, I wrote down the time code of 256 for all of those notes that I just read out, and it's still going. Some weird caged rock band or something.
Yeah.
They're performing above the crowd. They're just playing and.
Yeah. It's like Blade stuff. Who cares?
Okay, so just excuse it. So they're pushing through people. They're just gun butting people just indiscriminately.
Yes, they are.
Looking for Kano, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And they're just gun butting people. There's like two grunts. That just loops over and over again. Do you have an excuse for that?
Nope.
Oh, perfect. Kano is talking to someone on the phone. His metallic eye is away from the phone, and then he slowly turns towards the camera to reveal his eye.
Yep.
Now,
this is
okay.
a problem?
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
reveal.
No, it's a reveal.
Of a guy we
okay.
know.
Yes, it's a reveal.
Mhm.
But I'll say this. I like how his eye is never addressed, and it is never referenced how he got it.
Nope.
I like it.
And it looks good.
It looks good. But I can only imagine like a parent taking their little fat kid to this little fat kid video game movie, and then just seeing this guy with a metal eye. It's just like, they better explain that soon. And it's like, oh, nobody's. And they turn to the kid like, is this a thing? He's like, yeah, he's got a metal eye. It's just like, okay, I'm going out for a smoke.
So they took their little.
By the way,
fat
Dave, that's rude to
kid
talk about
kid
Ralph
to
when
the
he's not here.
PG-13 film based on the M-rated video game,
Sure.
and they had
Okay,
no problem.
why did they make it PG-13 then?
To
'Cause
appeal
they-
to a mass market?
Exactly.
I
Not a
don't care.
drop of blood in this movie.
Nope. Terrible. Should have been.
Okay, is this where he is established as Australian? Is this where it comes from, or was it
Yes.
always?
Oh no, he was never Australian before this.
Oh my
But it was
goodness!
so-
this has a long-standing presence in the MK canon.
It was so. People loved it so much, and the creators of MK loved it so much that they just made him this
Why?
forever.
He's just this greasy, sweaty
Yes!
Australian.
And it's awesome!
Slimy rape.
He's some underground just in king, and it's just like greasy and disgusting and spitting all over the place. Awesome. Dude, you didn't address the thing? I thought you would.
was
Unless
that?
we're still not done with this scene.
Oh no, we're still going.
Okay.
Subnote A13B.
So it's revealed that the Australian bit, I just wrote Australian question mark.
Yes, he was not Australian before
So
this movie.
it was revealed that Kano killed Sonya's partner.
Mhm.
And they want to trap Sonya on the boat. They want to get, from what I can gather, Shang Tsung's plan was he needs a weak enough fighter that he can trap on the island so he can trick somebody into agreeing to a fight whenever, wherever.
The
And
final battle for
the
Marvel.
final battle. And he just go like, I can just get this weak fighter.
No.
No.
That can't be it, because you see a montage of Goro slaughtering like 12 Earthrealm fighters.
Then why did they need her?
Shang Tsung personally wanted her
Okay, why?
because he was attracted to her.
Is that it?
Yeah, he's all
but-
through the movie. It's like my
Yeah.
beautiful Sonya and lovely.
But when the time comes, this is a problem later, but I'm just gonna address it right now because I remember what I wrote.
Uh-huh.
Johnny Cage wants to fight Goro,
Mhm.
and Shang Tsung goes, I'll let you fight him, but in return I get to fight the winner, or whoever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want.
Yep,
And Cage is like, deal.
because he wanted to fight Goro that bad to avenge black guy. We don't know stuff about.
Wait for that. So, and he chooses Sonya to fight, and he goes, fight me.
Yeah.
And she goes, no.
And then he goes Cage. He just didn't want to fight Liu Kang. But the Sonya thing was never like It's simply I want a weak fighter.
I think it was I want the weak fighter because this is their ninth. They have won
Again.
9 times and they needed to win 10 times. So you would want a surefire fight.
Okay, again though, you see Goro take out like 19 Earthrealm fighters, including
Ain't nan one of them a woman, and he's an old Chinese man.
so. It's just
Prejudice. What's she done impressive?
Beat Kano.
Can I say something? I didn't write it down in my notes, but I realized that he didn't take Kano's soul. He doesn't want him.
You know what, Kano? Dude, when he's walking down the stairs, he's just like, why else would I want this uncultured swine in my... He's like, what the...
Kano's just like, hey, I may be an uncultured swine, but... Hey, what else did you say? Okay. Kano, here's what I wrote. Kano wishes to engage in consensual missionary style fornication with Miss Blade.
Correct.
Shang Tsung threatens him with a blade.
Correct.
Why does he need to be threatened with an edged weapon?
Because he doesn't want harm to come to Sonya. Because he
No. Why does Shang Tsung threaten him with a knife when he could just go, I have magical powers that nobody's ever seen?
That's the language that in Kano understands. A knife to your throat.
So he wouldn't understand him with a fistful of fire?
No.
He put it is a tiny knife. Oh, Fiji, whoever you are, do not give me this. Ancient mythical sorcerer is threatening this man who clearly is just fine with a metal eye.
Okay, look.
With a tiny
if
knife.
Someone materialized a green, like, swirling thing in their hand,
I would be freaked out. I don't know what he could do.
In a world that you know magic exists.
For all you, Kano doesn't know. Because when he was talking to Goro, he's just like, man, that was some crazy crap. Dude froze him and he just shattered. What is that?
He may not know about Sub-Zero specifically.
What other magic would he have encountered? He's a mafia boss.
Invited by Shang Tsung. Why would he even ally with Shang Tsung if Shang Tsung ain't do some bush before?
Why is he even allied with Shang Tsung? At all.
They don't explain that.
Perfect. Still just gun butting people.
Yep.
Sounds like 2 people doing the 20 gun butt grunts.
Can you explain that?
They are just gun butting people out of their way because they're looking for a certain person to find Kano.
I was just curious. It sounded like a move that you were familiar with. The 20 gun butt grunts.
No, they're just gun butting people. They're just like over and over.
Now, here's the thing. Those may have been the grunts from the game.
If it is, I'm quitting this podcast.
Because there are a few things from the game.
Oh yeah,
they absolutely pipe in sound wise.
So Sonya shoots somebody a foot away from a dancing woman. The guy flies through a large window and the band plays on.
Correct. What's funny is she shoots him, but they show the same shot like 4 times. Yeah. Didn't enjoy that. You really did just skip over what I thought you were absolutely going to address. Come on, Sonya, we got to do this.
Oh, there's only one person, and I couldn't even bring myself to write that down.
I went, what the are y'all doing?
Like, this is a character arc. Got it. Okay, fine.
I understand, but that was just... But it prepared me for the shoehorn, just in your face exposition to come.
And that's fine, I suppose. You need something.
Some of it is not good.
So Sonya
Why are we flipping roles?
Sonya asked the dude about Kano. We don't get an answer, but it cuts over to Johnny Cage. It's slowly glass door opening, and we see him. So he walks up in front of a car with headlights on, in front of 5 dudes. It's a fake movie. There's I noted the weapons.
Mhm.
There's two dudes with some sort of spike stick,
Mhm.
a dude with an electric baton,
Mhm.
a guy with a bat, and of course the nunchaku.
Of course.
Also 12 font centered Los Angeles.
Correct.
And this is a constant
Yes.
in
It
this
is.
movie.
It's not.
Get a better font. Okay, so this is where they
18 million.
establish where they establish the fall down thing, and I like how it came back.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll say this.
Johnny
right now.
Cage is the best part of the
I
movie.
was just about to say that Johnny Cage is far and away the best part of this.
It's not even close.
I found myself laughing at him a lot more than I thought I would. I was just like, this dude should be annoying, but I like him.
Exactly, and that's how he is in the
It's
game
like,
and everything.
Fine.
You should absolutely just be like, oh, Johnny it sucks. But it's like, wow, he's amazing.
Yeah, I like him.
This is the part where you fall down. Where do you get these guys?
Apparently, this was offered to Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Correct.
who went for Guile instead.
The original Johnny Cage in the game was actually modeled after John
Yeah.
Claude, so it would have came back.
And also Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. And Sonya was actually cast as Cameron Diaz, but she hurt her wrist while training for it, so they had to get somebody else.
Okay. It's a fake movie, and so apparently Steven Spielberg was supposed to be in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
but he backed down. I think it was a scheduling conflict, and they just got a look-alike. So much so that I wrote down, "Is that Steven Spielberg?"
It's not, and they do a reveal like it should be
Yeah.
somebody that's actually a somebody, but it's not.
Cage is mad about poor actors, and he fights with Stefan Spielberg. Cage walks away, and as he's walking away and he's talking to somebody else, you can just still hear the director just yelling in the
Like,
background.
come on, Cage, I need you.
He's just yelling, and I just found that funny. This movie is surprisingly funny.
Yes,
He
mostly Cage.
He meets with his sensei or agent or
Oh,
something.
before that, it's the assistant that he's talking to. That's
Yeah.
a funny scene.
Yeah. And he tells him about the Mortal Kombat. It's held once in a generation. Now, here's a problem that I have with Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people who are invited or coerced or something to go to this.
Mhm.
They never speak of any sort of prize. They never speak of it's just like you can be the best fighter in this desolate wasteland with no cameras or anything. You can just come back and say, "Hey, I won this secret tournament. I'm the best."
The
Because that's
only
that's
thing-
just Johnny's whole thing. He wants to be proven as a legitimate person.
Mhm.
So the way that you do that is you go to this desolate abandoned island with 15 other dudes and a four-armed monster.
Yeah. I don't know what Johnny's actual thinking there was. Like, there's word is not gonna spread of the heroes, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade saving the world. It's not gonna spread.
That's a problem that I have with MK.
I don't know what Johnny's thinking there was, but Shang Tsung coercing him into it was. It's a good idea that they fumbled.
So he hands him a scroll and tells him to just go to this boat tomorrow. Just do it.
Just do it. Gotcha.
At this point, I didn't know that Shang Tsung was the sensei, so I assumed that the sensei got the invitation and gave it to Cage as a way to you prove yourself as opposed to me. But then it was just like 2 seconds later, it's just like, "Hey, it's Shang Tsung." I was like, "Oh!" And when he transformed, good effect.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that. Temple of Light, China, to a point centered.
Correct.
Okay, so all the monks wear red.
Yeah.
That's something that I just learned now. That's why his brother was wearing red. I just found it really weird that he was wearing
Yeah,
red.
yeah. In the beginning.
Lou arrives to the monastery. It's some sort of weird party rowboat. What's that? It's got all these colorful streamers and stuff
Dude,
on
I
it.
don't know what's going on.
It might as well
It's not even like-
swan boat.
It's not even like this is Lou's joyous return because he ran away. Like,
This is just a weird choice.
Yeah.
At this point, we are 7 minutes and 24 seconds into the movie.
Okay.
The temple looks good. I'll
Yes.
say that.
The locations they shot at all look good. The sets look good.
Yeah.
It's a great fantasy, quote unquote, looking world.
Yeah, it looks fine. So this scene is all about how Luke ran away. This is a problem with the movie. It gives you just enough exposition to figure things out, but not enough to actually get it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like Luke ran away.
Unless they're beating you over the head with it. Mike, there's one scene
We're gonna get
hated
to
it.
that. I just said that. Okay. I don't know why, but I call this guy the Dalai Lama. He wants Lou to save the world with the tournament
Yes.
because this is the 9th one and the 10th. Blah blah blah.
Yes.
Luke thinks
The
this
actual
is bullcrap.
story of Mortal Kombat.
Luke thinks this is bullcrap to the fact that the world needs to be saved. This is a once in a generation tournament, so stories passed down.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But then, who wants to pass down their losses? Because they've lost for 9 generations. So it's not like this Mortal Kombat tournament, though. We ruling that bit. No, we're losing handily.
He all of a sudden, just like the next scene, he goes from this tournament is bullcrap to I want to represent the tournament of light in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he explain that Shang Tsung
No.
was going to be there at that
No,
point? Yeah, I
no,
don't
he
know.
did not. So Rayton arrives and he looks homeless and cold.
And
He has
Lou
this
even
huge
addressed
stroll
it.
on.
He's like, this guy's a beggar. Why don't bow?
I said Lou has the gall to mouth off to a literal god. The llama says that Lou has been watching too much TV. I'm just like, well, how do you know about TV? He knows about Western Union apparently.
Bruh, I went down to a tournament in Chicago one time. There were monks in a Burger King
Just chilling.
with Bluetooth headsets in.
Oh. Never mind, I guess. Yeah, but that's
This was 3 years ago.
so Rayton just easily handles. He just hip tosses Lou, and Lou's like, "Oh, I guess you are Rayton."
He doesn't even say
He
he's
backs down.
because he still doesn't believe him. He's just like, if you are Raiden, he's so mad he got him tossed. Why didn't you protect my brother? Why didn't you?
Rayton provokes Lou. Lou goes to deck him, and the grandpa holds him back.
That's right.
He's like, "You're gonna get fried." Okay, Lou has a weird denim jacket in this scene. I took careful note of
America.
All of Lou's. I took careful note of all of his outfits. They change frequently, and they
Yes.
make no sense.
Yes, none.
What the? This is. I just wrote down freaking denim jacket. This is a sacred place, a-hole. Lou whines and runs off.
Of course.
We are now in Hong Kong. Cage steals a newspaper, and it's all about how Cage is a fake, and it's even gone all the way to China.
Mhm.
This is the introduction of art.
Is it? Jesus,
Johnny
what a
Cage-
nothing.
Johnny Cage goes, "Oh, your art. I saw you fight in London. Pretty good."
And his arc.
Art has 3 scenes in this movie.
One is him being murdered.
One is him being murdered.
The other
The
is
other-
when they're all sitting down and he quickly sits down across from them.
Says, "What the?"
Says nothing, does nothing.
Says nothing, does nothing. Lou has switched to a stylish leather jacket. Is a douche. What does he do for a living? At this point, so Johnny Cage is a bit of a racist. He makes it obviously. They are in Hong Kong at a dock. You see a Chinaman walking up. and you go, hey, you could do it nicer. He's just like, hey, Ching Chong, man, put my bags up. Understandable, but you can easily just go, hey, I'm a monk. I've been a monk for all of my life, and he's just a douche, and he just throws this shit in the water.
I would too. You can't be King Kong, man. Ugh.
He didn't actually say that.
He might as well. Hey, Chong Hong, in bags, boy.
I just wrote down Cage is funny.
Cage is
Okay.
hilarious.
This evil dragon boat. I wrote evil dragon flying Dutchman thriller bark ship. This ship is why would you even why are there people just like, yep, here we go. This boat would not look out of place on Barbossa's when the moonlight hits it. It looks the exact same. Get the away.
But they're going to a shady island to defend the realm of Earth.
They don't know that.
Cage and Blade don't. But Blade doesn't care because she
Okay,
just can't.
there are exactly 12 people waiting to get on the boat when the thing lowers. Brayton says, I looked into their souls. They're not winning.
Raiden is also awesome in this movie.
Brayton is a douche.
Yeah,
and he's not awesome.
too.
But he's not telling anybody. So, what? For all they know, they're just going to fight. And then you just get these ice motherfuckers. Kano sees Blade looking at him through binoculars, and he just creepily licks his lips and says, "Come to Papa." I'm just like, you want us to hate this character, and you got me like that begrudgingly. I like him because I hate him, sort of thing. Because he's just this creepy rape man. Jax is terrible.
Jax is awful. I'm glad they changed the actor. The new actor is not good, but better than that guy.
His line.
Sonya!
Hey,
Sonya!
Hey, Sonya, don't get on that thing. ... Sonya. Boy. Terrible.
You will get no rebuttal from me there.
Terrible ship. Shang Tsung could afford nicer.
Can he? What does he do for a living?
Johnny Cage, what does he do? He's hundreds of years old, so he's got to have some money. Anyway, Sonya, Cage walks up to Liu Kang, and he's like, "Hey man, what did you do that for?" Sonya runs into him. Cage goes, "What is that for?" And then she just pulls a gun on him.
I don't know what Sonya's doing. She's a loose cannon.
So she runs off trying to find Kano because she saw him boarding the ship. Shang Tsung is waiting in the shadows.
Perfectly centered, waiting for them.
For her. How many people did he walk by and just like, so nope, not yet. On your way, Art.
Or even better, someone walking past the door he's near, just like, what are you doing, Shang? Oh, just chilling, waiting.
Or he hears somebody come down and he's like, Sonya Blade. She's like, ooh. Whoops.
Oh, that's me, Daddy.
I'll be your Sonya.
Move along. Your soul is mine.
Creepy Asian man is angling for a threesome with Cage and Kano. It's what? Why? Why have this? It's weird. I wrote down Harry and Ron save Hermione.
Essentially.
Okay, there are a bunch of normal dudes on this ship. People in
Fodder.
geese. And then these freaking ninjas. Just out of nowhere.
It's like, they're my slave. They're just walking up. They're like, I'm not gonna with them.
The artifacts looks fine.
Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Until later. But
The spear perpetually looks awful.
100% at all times. I will say though, Cage, Scorpion, best fight of the movie.
Shang Tsung calls them the deadliest of enemies, and they both get one shot by Raiden. Understandable, he's a god, but at least have them dodge it or something. It was just like, these are my slaves, the deadliest of enemies. Shoot, shoot. And then he's just like shocked on the wall for like 2 minutes. And then he just flinks into the shadow.
I would too. It's fucking God of Thunder. You don't take a hit from Thor and just go, yup, let's go, Thor. No. You back off.
Okay, one of them is an immortal fire demon.
Correct. That got killed by Johnny Cage.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's coming. So Shang Tsung and Raiden have an exchange. We find out that Raiden has no dominion over the island that they're going on.
Yeah, I would assume it's a neutral zone to
Yeah.
fight in, so
Makes sense. But Raiden calls Scorpion and Sub-Zero freak shows. And I wrote, I wish we could have such a cool god. Raiden teleports looks trash.
Oh, okay. His red teleport looks off. I don't know what they were doing with this Stargate G1 bullshit teleporting.
Cage speaks to the weirdness of this situation with the ninjas and the guy.
This guy
So I'm
throwing
just like-
ice is a guy that's just made as lightning as far as I can tell.
So I'm just like, okay, magic is at least sort of uncommon in this world.
Mhm.
Established. Shang Tsung is the sorcerer of the Emperor. There's a small exposition scene explaining that they won 9 tournaments and they need 10 in
Fine
order to
exposition.
font completely fine. It's like 2 minutes in and out. You got exactly what you
Fine
need.
exposition.
They won 9. This is the 10th. Once they win 10, the worlds merge.
He's allowed to invade the world.
This is a scene where Raiden goes, I can look into people's souls. One of you 3 will win. It's just like he's not even at least like imbue something. Don't just completely forsake everyone.
Them other guys, they done. It's through zone.
So a skull with a snake coming out of its mouth appears in the
Move on.
sky. The
Move
dark
on.
mark I
Move on.
wrote. And Raiden turns to it and goes, it has begun. And then the
Shang
camera
Tsung.
pans over to Shang Tsung and he goes, it has begun.
Move on.
Have one of them.
One.
Have one of
Not even
them.
have one of them. Have Shang Tsung. What Raiden said. He didn't need no part of that line.
It was terrible.
Shang's was perfect.
So they get to the they board a. They don't go to the island on the actual Flying Dutchman terrible big ship.
No.
They do so in these little boats, and they establish at that point that they have no radio contact.
Yeah.
So just all hope of contacting people in the outside world is gone. They go to the island. They start climbing up these huge stairs, and Johnny Cage just almost falls down the stairs. And I'm just like, this dude is very funny.
You need help with this.
And Cage, I mean, Luke Cage, it's just a douche. Why is he just a douche? So they walk inside of a building.
Okay, here's the thing. Liu Kang is legit a douche. And it's so much better than the everyman, I'm the
Nothing,
champion.
Ryu.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the MK9 game, he's fighting Katana. And he's easily just like, and then kicking her in the butt to push her away. And he's like, that was fun. Show me some more. Just like, he's a douche. Like, one of his fatalities is kicking through a person, and then he wipes the guts off his
Yeah.
shit. He's a douche.
Fair enough. But I doubt he was a douche back then.
No, he was just the everyman until
Ryu.
they started giving these characters personalities.
So they walk into a
Before
building.
Sonya was just more than woman.
She's just a woman, angry woman in this. She's basically Sakura. So they walk into
No,
a building.
She actually does something.
They walk into a building.
Oh.
Katana is just chilling under this huge parasol inside of a building with no sunlight.
Correct.
And they just look at each other for a while. It's just like established. They walk off screen. 2 steps later,
Boy, Shang Tsung is
Shang
right behind
Tsung
them,
is
boy.
right behind them.
They're not even off screen yet when he appears.
It's like, have a beat. It's just like step. Katana.
They could have at least cut to Katana looking at them and being cut
Something,
back
but
to establish there was some type of
if
time.
he had just turned around, he just bicycle kicked him and just been decimated. Because Lou is Raiden was just like, Lou, you're not ready. you don't want none of this. Okay, this is the introduction of Reptile.
Terrible.
And he looks indescribably awful.
Not even a point of trying.
I say he looks like either he belongs in Mario Kart 64 or a screensaver.
He's in that maze screensaver from Windows
Yeah,
98.
with all the pipes.
He looks like the crack addict cousin of the gecko from Geico. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Let me help you. Save some money.
Yeah, this was just a mistake. So they go to they go to the Great Hall for a meal.
Mhm.
And Lou looks slightly to the right, and he's locking eyes with Katana
Again.
again. And
It had to be like 50 seconds
and-
later.
and Shang Tsung went, we cannot let Liu Kang
And Katana meet.
and Katana meet.
We can't let Katana meet
Put-
the Earth Realm
Put
people.
them further than 10 feet away from her.
They could have did some sign language.
Anything. So Shang Tsung comes out and does a little speech, and he's flanked by a bunch of shirtless men, two undead wizard ninjas, and congratulates them for having enough star chips for the finals.
He made it to the Duelist Kingdom Island.
A Shang Tsung nods, and the dudes just start kicking over tables and flipping chairs. And it's just like we were eating here.
I think there's a point to that, though, to be like, don't think you're at any time safe.
At peace.
Yeah.
Muscular Man versus Ice Ninja, and in as much
Dumbledore clap. You made it to
in as much time as it took me to write this, he was frozen and shattered with his head lying at Shang Tsung's feet. Was that guy expecting to be frozen? Did he expect him to have the ice powers? Was he a sacrifice?
I think he thought it was gonna be some exhibition, and then he
Because
was just
doing
murdered.
all this ninja
Yeah.
and just flipping and kicking and stuff. And I wrote down it'd be like if somebody just busted here and started controlling metal. It's just like there's a bunch of people here just like, okay, we're just dealing with magic now. I know jujitsu.
That's my skill. I trained
What
for
am I supposed to do against that?
trained for 17 years in kickboxing, and then this guy just freezes me.
Instantly. Shang Tsung is totally okay with losing one of his ... elite guards, fighters, ninja apprentice.
Bodies. One of his bodies.
And he's just like, this is the beginning of the turn.
There are maybe 3 acceptable quotes from the game that they use here in the entire movie. This is not one of them.
He's just flawless victory. And then he just walks off. Good night, everyone. Rest easy knowing that their magic exists in this world. Lou tries to follow Shang Tsung to punch him or something, and Raiden goes, "You will be murdered." Blade is hearing none of this crap and follows, wanting to know information about Kano. Liu Kang is wearing very sensible khaki pants and
Were
a
they
gray
black?
sweaters.
Were
And
they
a
black?
gray sweater. Apparently, he's 104 years old. His outfits were infuriating me in this entire movie. Dress normal. Kano is disgusting and Goro is worse.
Kano is legit disgusting and it's amazing.
He's just spitting and talking with his mouth full of food. It's just I'm like,
He takes a giant chicken turkey leg or something, takes a bite, just throws it.
put a fin bib on something. So they're talking about the festivities. He's completely nonplussed by this monster, literal monster,
Yes.
like 10 feet away from him. Shang Tsung comes down and reveals his master plan of merging the realms and how he's paying Kano somehow.
I think he probably did. Well, he definitely did that to entice Sonya to come.
Goro is a prince of something that we will never see and a general of something that we will never know.
He says what he's the general of, but we will never see it.
We'll never know. He just Lu is a descendant of Kung Lao.
Correct.
And
There
Goro
are
is
two
just like
Kung Laos.
Goro's just like I don't care. I'll just beat him.
It matters not.
It matters not. We beat him before. We'll beat him again.
We beat Kung Lao.
What does it defend it matter? Shang Tsung sees the trio lurking on him, and he sends his guards after him.
I gotta stop you there. This was the exposition that pissed me off.
Was it?
When Shang Tsung says, "Don't let Katana near the Earthrealm fighters," and Goro turns around and says, "The adopted daughter of the Emperor." What the are you talking? Why?
We know this information.
And
Isn't that right, brother of King Brown?
like, and then later, I was thinking,
You know this
I was-
over there, friend of Albert Smith and King Brown, host of the podcast of stuff.
I was thinking, at the very least, maybe they don't get a long conversation with Katana so that they never get this exposition of, but no, later there's just a scene where they're talking anyway, not when, like, come on, not needed.
Katana, they're in some sort of a maze, and they see Katana in the distance, and I thought that this was the ball scene from
No,
the second movie. I was
Annihilation.
like, is this where they're like close and they're like rubbing up against each other? I'm like, is this the scene or is that in
Terrible.
another movie? But I was just like, yep, here it comes. So
You had a 50-50 shot and you lost.
I'm glad it wasn't, because that was terrible.
Terrible.
So Lu goes first looking for Katana. He sees Reptile. Reptile sprays him with acid, and he's just mildly irritated, right in his eyes.
Yep.
He's just like, it's something.
He's just rubbing his eyes a few times, then the next thing he's fine.
And Reptile just runs off, even though Reptile's mission was
To keep them
to
away.
keep them away. He
But
just runs off.
technically, he kept them away by doing that.
They cut the scene, and it's a long shot of these undisturbed cobwebs, and Cage goes, Katana went this way. How? If there are these huge, thick cobwebs.
I think he said Katana is this way.
No, he said went.
Well, I got nothing for you, Cage.
I tried.
Cage and Blade have a very nice scene together, and Cage mocks Blade. I'm writing this, and the theme starts. I'm taking a break. Because other people, because he just goes something, and he does the something.
Oh yeah, I can tell you exactly what the scene is. Cage is like, I smell her perfume. They all walk in, and it's a big hall, and there's nobody there. And Sonya's like, I can smell something too. She turns to him and says, bullshit. She starts walking off, and he goes, me.
And then it's just Mortal Kombat.
No, they're walking, and then one dude appears, and it goes Mortal Kombat, and then Cage looks up and says, "We've got company." No. You're right. It starts with the test your mic, the underlying, and Cage like, "We've got company," and then the second it hits the Mortal Kombat is when they start.
Ugh.
That song gets
None of
people
that.
hype. I don't give a
I just wrote they fight.
dude. No.
Lou does a cartwheel over a rock and
For
then
nothing.
strikes a pose and it cuts to Blade.
Yep.
He doesn't punch anyone. Nobody's chasing him.
Nothing.
Nothing happens. He just cartwheels over a rock and goes, ah!
Cage has 3 dudes on the stairs. They all jump kick towards him.
Yeah.
Only the one in the middle would ever hit him.
It's
He just
bad.
ducks.
Blade clotheslines a man to death. Raiden slow claps, and it looks like he's wearing Jedi robes. They reveal that Shang Tsung is a former champion. This island is the entire battleground. Round 1 is Luke in a fashionably ripped tank top and MC Hammer pants, and he beats a black guy with a stick.
The MC Hammer pants, are those what he wears throughout the rest of the movie?
No.
Okay. Because the final battle he has is actual black pants that he's supposed to have from the beginning.
This is a good choreographed fight.
Yes.
The fights in this movie are surprisingly good, except for the fact that they use too much slow-mo.
Oh, absolutely. I noticed it in this one, and I noticed it in the Kano Blade fight. It was entirely too much. But yes, it was well choreographed, but who is that guy?
I'll tell you who it was. BG was kicked to the ground once and had his soul sucked out for his troubles.
It was a guy with dreads.
So the people, they're fighting in front of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The people in this, I mentioned it earlier. They're just here for a normal fighting tournament. Now they're dealing with an ice ninjas and demons and four-armed people. And now if you lose, you just lose your soul. Nobody mentioned the possibility of death to these people.
Your
Or maybe they
soul
did
gone.
because they were given a scroll and it was written in all Chinese. So they were just like, warning, chance of soul being sucked out. The next fight is Kano versus Blade. Kano is a sleazeball,
Sleep!
kisses at Blade and pulls out a blade.
Gave your
It's
partner
this freaking ornate knife. It's just like got like 15 points on it. I'm
Was
like,
this the God Killer?
I'm like, this knife was modeled for this movie. That does not exist.
Gave your partner a nice smile. Yeah, that's a great. Oh, greatness. And they do something. Are you about to skip past towards the past
No.
part a little bit? Okay.
Shang Tsung said that Sonya Blade is not to be injured.
Mm-hmm.
And Kano's
first.
first move is to swing a knife at her face. That's the opening move. And then his second move is to backhand punch her.
Backhand the shit out of her. Then the third move is to kick her in the gut while she's writhing on the ground. But this is what I was talking about. Near the end of the fight, they do Sonya's flip thing. And it's done in a way that isn't just like a head turn wink to the audience. It's a perfectly fine way to do it.
I wrote down, I kind of like how Kano's eye is never addressed or explained, and he's dead.
Yep. Dead. Give me a break, will you?
And
Okay.
too many puns. And that's her story arc done.
Yep. Completely finished.
Cage, it just cut to Cage in this weird forest, and he's fighting an undead spear ninja for there's no reason that he should win, but yet he does.
See, again, that's that paper argument. On
argument.
paper, such and such.
Yeah. But
He gets lucky.
Yeah. There's a long shot after Scorpion tracks him with his spear, and then Cage is looking around for him, and these trees are absurdly skinny. This is a nice set. There's a bunch of trees in a whole row. These trees are like 7 inches thick, maybe
Maximum.
And Scorpion just cartwheels from behind one of them.
Completely hidden. Way in the background. Like, what are you doing? Also, the get over here.
Get over here,
down
come here.
That's Ed Boon.
Yeah, I know. That's more of that. I can understand people would be upset if it were not there, but at the same time, come on.
It was a little much. But of course, because Ed does it in the game, it's a nice called. Have him do it in the movie too.
Uh,
He does not do it as well in the movie.
A good fight scene, but terrible skull/fire effects.
The fire effect when it's on the shield is not bad.
Yeah, but once he pulls and his eyes
Yeah,
are glowing with fire and mouth.
Yes.
Oh, he also
That looks-
teleports him.
But look at it like this. 15, 16 years later, same effects in Ghost Rider. So
Okay, all right. Is that a positive or a negative?
I mean, they were 15, 16 years ahead of their time, or Ghost Rider was 15, 16 behind.
They also teleport somewhere. How does Cage get back from that somewhere?
I would assume it's another part of the island. That's the only thing I
Sure.
can give you.
He Captain America's his head with the shield. He sort of chops it. So Scorpion goes. He pulls off his mask and his skull looks terrible. And he opens up his mouth. And Cage sort of instinctually knows that he's about to breathe fire.
I mean, he has fire eyes, and then he
I
opens
wouldn't
his
go
mouth.
breathing fire.
What would you go if you had a skull man in front of you whose eyes suddenly lit on fire and then he opened his mouth wide? What would your instinct be besides run? If you're
Some
forced
sort
to fight this man, fire breathing would be
I would think some sort of soul sucking,
soul sucking would be up
like
there.
a Dementor or something.
Yeah, soul sucking would be up there, but breathing fire would be up there too.
So he wins and he blows up. This one was Liu Kang and Katana a sanctioned match?
Yes, they're all sanctioned matches.
Because it's
You
just
skipped
a, it's
the
just
Johnny
a small.
Cage picture.
I didn't need to address it because that's just dumb.
It's
It's
not
just
dumb,
too
it's
much.
awesome.
It's too much. It's too much.
It is a bit.
It's too, why?
Because it's his friendship in the
Yes,
second
I know,
game.
but why?
Because it's awesome.
Lou versus Katana. This isn't much of a fight. It's just Katana telling him to about the next match, and I don't
I
understand.
hate Katana in this movie.
She's a terrible actress, but I don't understand how do you win fights? Is it just knock them down once because she gets him in an arm? He gets her in an arm bar and just keeps her down for a second, and Chang Su goes, "That's enough, Katana. I'm very disappointed in you."
He
And it
knew
gets
she
cut.
was bullshit. That's all it was.
Okay, but this is the third match for Lou. This upcoming one with Sub-Zero.
Mhm.
It's just one for everybody else
Cage got to.
so far.
Oh,
Yes,
so far,
one
yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody else. Katana told him to use water, but there's torches everywhere. He's ice. Why did he can use fire? No?
Nope.
No. Okay.
He can't use the fire till he can feel it. Later in the movie.
Oh, yeah, this is a good fight scene. At a certain point, they're a certain distance away, and Sub-Zero starts
Popping a
waving his
squat.
hands and crap. I said the startup on his ice power is Iron Man-esque, totally punishable.
The second you said the startup, oh, well, he's gonna go Iron Man.
So he puts up this ice force field. Lou, water. He is hit with a small ice cube in his chest. And he just dies.
This is a giant icicle.
But why would you punk out one of the most beloved characters like that? Would you have Magneto die to a magnet? No.
There are so many things wrong with what you just said.
He
Magneto.
has a pacemaker. How about that? Dead.
How about, unlike the arcade game, Magneto is not master of magnets.
Magnet. Just the one magnet.
Master of
And he does not welcome you to die.
It just cuts to a montage of Goro. Shang Tsung goes, "All right, Goro, you're up," and he just starts beating up these nameless, faceless, overweight Asian dudes and geese.
It's like straight 15 people. He's just like, they're
And they're
done.
just being thrown on these rocks. I'm just like, How? Why?
And you know that's not a one take.
Oh no, because he throws like the same dude like 6 times. I'm like, this poor overweight Asian man. Okay, so this is Art's third scene
Of 3.
of 3. Didn't even mention the second one. Barely mentions the second one. Goro, the doors opens up. Goro goes, yeah, I'm Goro. Everybody goes, yeah, it's Goro. And Art is sitting there, shoo, facing Goro. Goro steps in the ring, and then as soon as he sees Goro, he's like, oh no, it's Goro. Why didn't he react when
Maybe it was about height, because Goro.
he
is
just
tall.
murdered like 15 people? You said this earlier. Don't you nod your head? Don't what? This scene is terrible.
It's not good.
The biggest problem is they're acting like Art is a character.
It's something.
They're acting like this because Sonya's like, yeah, get up, Art. I'm like, they have not shared a scene.
I would be-
They have not shared a word.
I would be fine with them going get him Art because it's all Earth Realm and we're all just the big trying to protect the Earth Realm, blah 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 blah. But don't scream no when he died.
I'm just like,
Nobody
why?
gives a
Who is Art? Art is my biggest problem with this movie.
dude. Art is straight. They try to shoehorn in an emotional, like
least-
you don't know shit about the guy.
At least having somebody from the games or something, or
He's not with them,
or create a reason for me to care about this dude. He's just like, it's Art. He fought once in London. He was sitting with them in the dining hall, and now here's his fight, and then he just gets comically murdered.
There could have been a collective 3 more minutes of this movie where it's just hanging out with Art.
Something. So he just picks him up after
That
beating
first
him
fight with Lou and Dreadlocks dude should have been Art.
easily, but he just picks him up and he just hits him once in the face, and it's like Art is dead now.
If it was R-rated,
Art is no longer alive.
if it was R-rated, his head would have been split or something. But it's just like finish him, bloop, fatality. Yeah, there.
I wrote right here. I was turning the corner on Goro. I said he doesn't look too bad, kind of like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I turned the corner. He looks fine.
He's an animatronic.
But his arms don't make a lot of sense because he has only 2 pecs, and it's dumb.
It is.
Art and Sonya have spoken maybe once. She screams no.
No,
She
never.
murdered a man. There's a montage of Goro murdering people. Cage was teleported somewhere by a skull demon. She knows the risks.
I forgot to mention another good, quick callback to the game is Johnny's shadow kick when he's trying to kick Scorpion and gets teleported into a place. Quick,
Easy.
nobody gives a
That's
except
fine.
the people that care.
But in the second one, she slowly picks up the dust and she slowly. It's terrible. That second one is.
Oh,
But-
and Smoke is just there in the second one.
Smoke, rain.
Dude, Liu Kang is fighting and Scorpion and Sub-Zero come to help, and he looks up and the robot is just Smoke. Whatever. Second movie was awful. She was just there. Just 5 people dropped into the and
Hello,
Shao Kahn
it's
just gets
us.
Shao Kahn
So-
just gets raped by Raiden in that first. He's getting mauled.
It's just like it's not even a contest. You gotta nerf Raiden in order for this to be something.
Dude, the first 10 minutes of that movie is like the worst 10 minutes of cinema I've ever seen.
So they have a scene with Raiden. Raiden says that they can win any fight, no matter how bizarre it is. The only thing that can beat them is their fear, and he runs down their list of fears. But why did he not have this talk with Art? Because Art was clearly horrified of Goro.
Because he read his soul and figured out that ain't one of the dudes I need to be
He could
talking
have
to.
at least been like, okay, Art. I can see the future. I'm a literal guy. Look, thunder, whatever. I don't have a lot of time here. But
No, you don't got a lot of time here.
look, we're both running out of time here, homie.
You more so.
He could have just lied like, I looked at your soul. I've seen 50 outcomes. You die in all of them. But take out his leg. Do something to him.
Help us.
Help. Do anything to him.
He was doing stuff. He was actually hitting them and
He was
everything.
hitting them, yeah.
And he was getting.
Why? Why did he like? Okay, I pickpocketed Kano, stab him with this knife, this super knife. But he did
Where was he gonna
nothing.
hide that?
Okay,
It's the clown sword.
But his guts and sword. But Goro just lifts up his arms and let him get a couple free shots. So he can be like punch, reach, stab. The weapons were clearly allowed.
Clearly.
Okay, right here I wrote, I wonder if Art is ever going to be mentioned again. He is never mentioned again.
Never.
In
Cage wants to fight Goro to protect Sonya. Not to avenge Art.
This is
That
nothing.
guy. That guy.
Okay, they speak of Lou's brother and the circumstances around his death, but they don't go into enough details. Was he alone? Did anybody try to help him? Why did Shang Tsung go to that temple?
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
questions.
just-
Because it's not even for Mortal Kombat. It's just him.
He just murdered this one kid, and apparently nobody else. Because there were children at the temple, and he just came there and just murdered.
The best I can think of is he knew a descendant of Kung Lao would defeat him, and he picked the wrong one. It's the Voldemort situation.
Okay, makes sense. Shang Tsung can also peer into people's souls. He peered into. Okay, Cage wants to fight Goro. Shang Tsung agrees, but only if Tsung can fight the winner or whoever he wants, whenever he wants, wherever he wants. It's his tournament. Why is he asking participants for permission?
It's not his tournament. It's the tournament set by the Elder Gods that allow.
They never mentioned the Elder Gods. Don't tell me they did, because they didn't.
They don't. But it's not his tournament. Is all I'm saying. It's
Okay,
just the.
why is he
tournament of-
asking for permission from a contestant?
He's not asking for permission. He's
Okay,
asking.
okay. Is there a bracket? Is there something to tell me who fights next, where, and when?
Nope.
Nope.
And there has never been.
And
In the
there never
games,
will be.
in the
Because
games and nothing.
Because Goro just fought 15 people.
Yep. Murder them all. It's like a
So-
last man standing thing.
What are we doing here? What are we talking about? Getting near the end. Cage agrees. Raiden appears.
Like, no, hold up, homie.
He appears accompanied by the sound of thunder.
Correct.
He's just like, hold on. I'm just like, ugh. I'm running out of steam.
I equated that to when it was corporate Kane and then the fire came and he just walks out with a mic. Like, what are you doing? There's no arms raising, nothing. There's no music.
He tells Shang Tsung that that's some old BS. Shang Tsung gives him this sarcastic frou-frou, half bowing hand gesture thing. He's like, Matt Lord Raiden. And he just goes, And he basically goes, too late. As we say, a deal's a deal, and the rules are clear. So there are some sort of rules.
Oh yeah, there's definitely rules for Mortal Kombat.
What are the rules? Some people are fighting fairly in front of a bunch of people with sticks. Others are fighting alone in the woods, ambushed.
The way I look at it is stream match versus not stream match.
See, that's not fair. You have that knowledge. Oh, this punk Cage is just gonna get just murdered by this evil ninja. Let's just go in the trees.
Yeah, just do it. You're in this pool right here. You're playing on this station.
Cage starts the fight with Goro with his sunglasses on, and it mirrors the beginning scene with the nunchuck guards, and that was pretty good. Goro breaks the sunglasses. Does he understand the concept of sunglasses, or was he just being a douche?
Being a douche.
Okay. Because there's a lot of things I gotta. Goro gets punched in the nuts. Human anatomies, reproductive organs,
He took a chance.
butt cheeks.
He took a chance.
How much of this? He took a chance. Cage runs away. Shang Tsung calls Goro an imbecile. How is that his fault?
As he still hunched over. Because he did the same thing he did with Art. Get a free shot.
Okay,
And,
but
and
at this
Cage
point,
went,
at
okay,
this point,
my shot is your balls.
at this point, Shang Tsung earlier goes, you will fight each other, and maybe one of you will have the honor to face Prince Goro. So he's hyping him up.
Yeah.
So clearly he's been instrumental in a bunch of fights.
Correct.
So he's still there. He's not injured or anything. So of course he's gonna be a little bit cocky.
Okay, like you
Poor
cocky,
choice of words, I suppose.
you cocky imbecile, you got your cocks punched.
How was he supposed to know?
Nobody knew. That's why
He's
Cage
like,
did it.
okay, free shot. Everybody gets a free shot. Nobody does anything to him. How is he an imbecile for that? That makes no sense. Him.
When you get punched in the dick, I
okay.
don't care. You look like
Okay.
an imbecile.
Okay, Cage runs up the stairs. Goro starts walking towards the stairs. Cut. That puppet man is not climbing stairs.
No, let's not.
You're
have
not
none of
rigging that.
that. We ain't got no time for
No.
that.
Okay, Cage
Just another 4 million.
just cut. And he's up there. Good. Cage hits him 4 times, and Goro is kicked off the cliff.
CG kicked off the cliff because they're not gonna risk that animatronic falling.
I wrote down, you can't do this. This is brutality. No, this is a fatality.
Oh.
What was
Be-
that?
It was some old Mortal Kombat cartoon or something.
It was probably not Conquest, but it's something like that.
Something like that. Sonya is taken to the Emperor's
Nope,
Castle.
I know what it is. Jax's ending in Mortal Kombat 4.
That's what it was. I just remember seeing that because Phalos used it a bunch of times. And that was just always funny to me.
This is a bruce. You can't do this, Jax. This is a brutality. No, this is a fatality.
He falls off a cliff.
It was Jarek or something.
So Shang Tsung is like, I'm fighting Sonya, and he just grabs her by the hair. All of a sudden, Sonya is just rendered just completely useless. None of her martial arts. She had a gun. Why not shoot him? Or did she just forget that? And she's just taken from a portal to the Emperor's castle. Portal looks fine. Johnny Cage and Liu go. Raiden can't go, not his domain. They go to the Outworld. Outworld looks fine.
Which they actually bring back in the second movie.
Oh, same set.
Not the same set, but that Raiden can't go to Outworld because he
Is that
can
why?
only-
Is that why he turned human and
Yeah.
cut his hair?
he went mortal. That dude, that movie's terrible.
You don't say.
That movie's awful.
Was there combat perchance?
What?
Well, he said he went mortal.
Oh Jesus! Yes, there was, and then he died instantly.
Because he's a punk without his powers.
Boy, what a wuss!
The reptile fight. At one point,
The worst fight of the movie.
Luke Cage is just struggling with
You
this.
keep saying Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Terribly sorry. Luke is just struggling with this thing that is just not there, and several times his hand just clips into it.
Yep.
And sometimes he's just not even holding it. I'm just like, this poor man.
95, 18 mil.
He thought this would be an actual movie.
It was.
So he's kicked into some sort of a corpse or something.
Yeah.
The corpse latches on to the
Dude.
reptile
This is
and
nothing.
somehow forms a clothing and a mask. And someone off screen yells, reptile. In case we didn't know.
It's the character select guy.
Yeah, I
The
know.
way he said
I
it.
know. But why? They already said this was reptile.
I-
Do this for everyone then.
No.
Or no one.
They do. And then you complain that somebody got top billing when they did it.
No, just go.
I understand what you're
When
saying.
Kano's on the phone, when he turns his eye, just go, Kano.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. With everybody, like I said, with the Captain Wonder Woman.
Make
I'd
it
be-
like Suicide Squad
I'd
with
be-
just a name under.
They fight.
Yeah.
Lou hits a pretty sick Dragon Rana.
Essentially.
Lou does his terrible bicycle kick.
It's not terrible.
Kicks Reptile out the window because his HP is depleted. He turns into a statue with worms and roaches for guts? What is this all about?
Dude, I couldn't even begin to explain this to you.
Oh, okay, so they meet up with Katana. Katana does nothing but spout some exposition.
That we already know.
A bunch of Undertaker's druids go to the final arena.
Mm-hmm.
They encircle the logo. The logo. Liu Cage and Katana were three of the druids. Katana tells Shang Tsung that
Sonya costume.
why.
That's a good call. It's nothing.
Sure. To people who care. To the little fat kid in the movie theater, but the parent is just like, what is it?
She's tied up.
Who?
She's
Sub what?
It's a good call back. Again, it's a wink without turning your head and nodding while doing it.
Like they did 50 times in this movie.
Like they did with the Cage picture is a turn your head wink. Flawless fake turn your head wink nod. That's just a nice little wink.
Katana tells Shang Tsung that the Mortal Kombat cannot be won by treachery or treason or by
That's
cheating.
bullshit.
Yes, it is.
That's complete bullshit. Because
Shang-
then the Emperor in the next movie just cheats,
Yep, sure does.
and they're gonna allow it.
Shang Tsung challenges Luke Cage. Shang Tsung challenges Johnny Cage, but Luke steps in. Why wasn't Shang Tsung surprised that his best fighter in general was beaten by a human in less than 5 minutes? Johnny just shows up after,
yeah.
and he's just like, "What? Where's Goro? Where's my fighter?"
I lost Scorpion and Goro to this guy.
Oh,
Maybe I should fight Lou.
he's the real chosen one.
Technically, he is.
Uh,
He had the blood of champions in him.
The song starts again.
Awesome.
They bow to each other with respect. Not even the frou-frou Raiden bow. They just both bow. This brother killed you didn't even bow to the black guy.
He has respect for the martial arts.
He didn't bow to the black guy.
Because that was fodder. And he was black.
They fight.
He has respect for the martial arts, not the African American race. Let's come on.
Exactly. We ain't got time for that.
They fight for a while. Liu is winning
Handily.
until Shang Tsung summons the Warriors of the Dead. There are 2 Chinamen, a black guy, and a samurai. Just the last guy is just a samurai, just like, and also the samurai. It's just like,
What the does she mean? Face your enemy. These are just people. No one gives a katana. I hate katana in this movie.
Katana is terrible. And then they're just together at the end, like they had some sort of an arc.
No, they had a stare, and she told him some shit.
So Liu beats him, and he just taunts him. Is that all you got? Shang Tsung runs up the stairs. He has his back to Luke Cage. Luke Cage can see him. He transformed into his brother. And Liu go, brother, is that you? And he's like, yes, it is I, your brother. Me, your brother, Luke Cage. Kane.
Luke Cage.
And he just starts spouting all this bull crap. And it's just like, why? This is like, I equated this to, I didn't write it down, but I equated this to the end of It, except for the fact that he didn't see him transform. But this whole time, Katana, Cage, and Sonya are doing nothing.
Nothing.
Why didn't anybody just yell, that's not your brother?
Because he's got to face his fear. So
Why were they not fighting the samurai and they were doing literally nothing?
you can't interfere in the...
Did they say that?
No.
Okay then.
I would assume that's one of the few rules of Mortal Kombat. Did anybody else interfere in any other fight? Nope.
Probably. I don't know.
No, definitely not.
Liu, he doesn't believe him after a while, and then he transforms. They fight for a little bit, and then he does his fire thing.
Fireball.
Why wasn't this an arc? Why wasn't it Liu cannot beat Shang Tsung until he masters his fire. Because Raiden just goes, you can't beat
For no
beat
reason.
Shang Tsung. Why is it just like,
I would assume he couldn't beat Shang Tsung because of the reasons holding him back, which was his brother Bush. Because if Shang transformed to his brother in front of him and he froze. So, and then he summoned the spikes. So
Doltry did what needed to be done.
also spikes, also a callback.
Also a
Awesome.
callback. So he
It's not
gets
like-
pushed into the spikes, bloodless, flawless victory. No, it wasn't a flawless victory. You got hit a lot. You got hit a lot.
2 of the 3 flawless victories were not flawless victories.
No, they weren't.
Shut the up.
They're just talking.
I think they wanted it to be like, oh, this is Shang Tsung's catchphrase, and it comes back to bite him when Liu does. No, people got hit. There's no chip damage recovery here. You got hit.
So he's dead. Swirling souls come out. Art is not there.
Nope.
Not even.
Why
Nothing.
would he be?
Show him off in the background. Show Cage waving at him or anything. He's useless.
Useless.
Cage has some word. Lou has some words with his brother. They say goodbye.
Okay, there's 2 things with the Shang Tsung thing. There's something called, oh Jesus Christ. There's something called the Soul NATO in Mortal Kombat.
All right. Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
dude.
right. That's something I
This-
never needed to hear.
The story of Mortal Kombat. Do you know how many realms there are? There's like 9. There's a Chaos realm. There's an Order realm. Nether, Earth, Outworld, Dream realm, which they assume Freddy Krueger resides in. This is all stuff you don't ever need to know, really. But the Soul NATO is what causes Ermac to kind of start decaying and get kind of weird. So when they were like, "This is Shang Tsung's ultimate weapon," and he has all these souls, I was like, "Here comes the Soul NATO. This is gonna be all." Because I
No.
didn't. No, just Samurai.
This movie is like an hour and 45 minutes. They didn't need another one. They were just like, he's done. This is his. We're done here. Smash cut to a
Except at the end, they totally go,
Smash
"We
cut.
need another one."
smash cut to the temple celebration. They're all happy. Apparently, Lou, and Katana are arm in arm, so they're together. They share like 6 sentences. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Shao Kahn shows up. I just wrote sequel.
Essentially, and then sequel doesn't even really start like that.
No, it doesn't.
Everybody split up and like,
Nobody cares.
and then 3/5 of the actors gone. Only people that return are Lou and the worst actor in the movie, Katana.
And now you will die.
Dude. And then Shao Kahn descends with Ermac, Rain, Shiva, Sindel himself. And I think like one of the
All the warriors.
I'm like, oh, why? Who cares?
This will never.
I also
happen
think
again.
this movie is the reason why Reptile stopped being human and they started making him his own race of people. Reptile's story is weird, and I don't understand why people like Reptile. Get this Reptile's out of here.
So that's the movie.
All right.
It was a good movie.
Here's the ratings that I want to use whenever we start our podcast.
Okay.
I don't know if I want 4 or 5. Give me a little bit of input. Top of the top. Not trash. Simple,
trash.
clean. Maybe a better name in the future. I'll think of it later. One rung under that. Totally watchable. One rung under that. Just a movie.
Okay. This is the problem I have with that. Not trash and totally watchable.
Yeah, that's why I said I need a better name for not trash.
Okay. What's trash in reverse?
Yeah, that's why I said I think I need a better name.
Yeah, but I understand.
One rung under that is just a movie. One rung under that is barely a movie, and the final rung is trash. Here's the way that I quantify it. I did so with the 5 Spider-Man movies. There's actually 6 of them, but I'm going 5.
Yeah.
The first Spider-Man movie, totally watchable.
Not trash.
Really?
Yeah, he is exceptionally jokey. And
but the CGI detracts.
Understandable.
Totally watchable. The second
also
one.
might be one of the best superhero, down and dirty superhero fights I've ever seen. That is dirty at the end with Spidey and Green Goblin. It's just bloody and dirt. There's no brightness and like hope. It's just this thing, dilapidated building that they're just throwing each other through glass. And it's like, what the? This is Spider-Man.
The first one, totally watchable. The second one, not trash.
Not
the
trash.
third one, just a movie.
Just the movie with teetering on totally watchable.
Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know if that's
Barely
trash
a movie.
or barely
A movie.
They're interchangeable. Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 are interchangeable
No, they're
between
not.
barely a movie and trash.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man is solidly barely a movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is solidly trash nuggets. It's like clumps of juice
Well, there
in a
you go.
trash bag.
There you go. That's how I quantify.
Ugh.
Like I said, maybe change it off a little bit. So here's how I would
Rate.
qualify
Okay.
this movie. I went into it with very low expectations.
You went into it with trash
Just
expectations.
trash, barely a movie expectations. Very surprised. I remember hating this movie, but I think this movie is totally watchable.
Totally watchable would be my rating as well. Totally
And I
watchable.
hate that it's totally watchable. After all the bush that I spewed, it is still a totally watchable movie.
It is I would never say it's a good movie, but it's a pretty good schlocky action fantasy movie. And it is totally watchable on like a who gives a Sunday in the middle of off-season NFL. And it's like,
While you're looking for some new bands.
yeah, like I've got nothing better to do. I'm gonna watch Mortal Kombat. And it is totally
Hey,
watchable.
it's on TBS, whatever.
Whatever. And the commercials come, you take a piss, you come back, you may miss 2 minutes, who cares? It's totally watchable.
Hey, Goro's fighting art, whatever.
Whatever, he's done.
So yeah, I wanted this to just be barely a movie. But it's got arcs. It's got pretty good characters. Like I said, there was some good CGI. There was some
Good
bad as well.
Fight choreography
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
There was nothing egregiously where I was just like, except the group fight. That was where I was like, what? Come on now.
This is a lot better than I remember it.
Annihilation
I'm
is not as.
disappointed.
Is not,
Oh, I have no doubts about Annihilation.
Also, Jax and Sonya rode on the ball. They never show this, but Jax alludes to them riding on the ball, so they had to be hugged together too. That's got to be weird.
Just weird.
Weird. What a great feeling to be correct.
You're not correct in the fact that it's the best video game movie.
What's a better one?
Like I said, Tekken, Dead or Alive.
Which Tekken?
The Tekken, the one that you used.
The Gym? Barely a movie, my dude. Barely a movie, my dude. It's,
That's fine, but
it's an
you got
excuse
a
to-
bare bottom plot and you got some good fights.
that's barely a movie. Don't just not.
Okay, this is barely a movie.
No, this has
This
a
is-
actual plot, arcs.
but
Jen is nothing in that movie.
Lou is nothing.
Yes, but you also have Johnny and Sonya and people doing things. You just got Jen. Here's your next fight. Okay, I remember this thing with my mother. Here's your next fight. Okay, I remember this thing with my mother. Here's your next fight. Okay, I remember this thing with my
better
mother.
fights, better effects.
It came out
Better
like
act,
14
doesn't
years
matter.
later.
I'm looking at it as right now.
Oh, that's bush.
I didn't want this movie to be totally watchable.
No, I know you wanted to hate it. What's our next one? Waterboy? Or were we doing something else?
We can decide on that later. but-
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, this is totally something DA wants to spin off into an actual different podcast.
We have to tweak a couple things, but I like it.
All right.
We're going to talk about the ratings maybe, but I like the ratings.
Yeah. Just a
Barely a
different name for the
movie.
not trash. But yeah, it's good.
Barely a movie.
It's
Friggin' Batman versus Superman was barely a movie.
barely a movie. I would not call it trash.
But it is. It has the bare bones of a movie.
Justice League, middle of the pack.
Suicide Squad is trash.
Trash. Holy. They didn't know what they were doing with that movie. It's like 9 different movies in one. And they just went, here you go, audience. And people defend it. They say it's good.
Justice League is just a movie.
Just a movie. I think if it was more Whedon stuff, this is the way I look at it. If it was either more Whedon stuff or more Snyder stuff, it could probably
But
go
the
up.
weird mishmash.
Like it's, and Ben is just done because they pulled him out of rehab for those reshoots. So you know he just was not feeling it. That's probably why he's so disgruntled being Batman. Like he's done. He's done though. And Jumanji, totally watchable.
I don't want to hear that.
I went
That's
into
not
it
good.
like this is gonna be dog. Kevin Hart is not Kevin Hart.
That's
The
that's
Rock is
disappointing.
not The Rock.
That's just disappointing. Don't tell me that that's totally watchable.
It's a actual good movie, and I was so hurt.
Yeah. Exactly. You want to go in seeing a disaster.
Disaster. And downsizing was a disaster. Barely a movie. But man, Jumanji is a good movie. Bye Bye Man, trash. A Cure for Wellness,
oh my God.
trash.
I need to see Bye Bye Man before the
No,
best
you
of the
don't.
worst.
No, you don't. Oh, what are we doing our best of 2017? Next week after?
It
Give
needs
it-
to be when Pro is back.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
people some time to actually build some lists.
Yeah, let's see. We got. We'll do it 2 weeks from now on the 17th. Sorry.
Yep.
It is Thursday.
Correct.
My calendar confused me.
When's Ohio?
The week after that.
Okay.
It's like the last weekend of January, 26, 27.
We could technically do it there
We could, but we have.
because we're not going to OhioCon except DA for a day.
Yeah.
So we have a weekend to fill.
This is true. Yeah, we could potentially save it for then. We can decide that as time
Also, I
goes
might do another clip show.
on. Have we done one for the podcast and stuff, or is it?
Nope, that's why I want to do one.
Okay. I would be down for that.
I might.
All right.
But yep, okay, we're done here.
That was Mortal Kombat. Thank
A
you.
good move. Oh,
Totally watchable movie.
oh, this feels so right.
Totally watchable.
So, what was the other video game movie you said was good besides Tekken?
King of Fighters.
Oh boy, you are crazy.
I like King of Fighters.
It goes Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, the first one, and then everything else. just Silent Hill. Silent Hill is third.
Assassin's Creed wasn't bad. I will say that.
Never saw it. Saw that beginning and went, dude, I was listening to that podcast recently where we talked about it. I said I was walking down the street watching it and I saw that long ago, whatever, and I said, this isn't worth my time. I'm walking and I said, this isn't worth my time. So
How was the Tomb Raider movie?
it's not out yet.
No,
Or the first-
the
The first one is just a movie. It's literally like middle of the pack. It's a fine movie. It's a pretty good video game movie. The second one is terrible.
Yes. Agreed.
This new one, I think they're trying too hard to do the newer Laura, and they just want to be like, we're the new Laura, and here it is, and watch it, new Laura fan. Like, come on. They're even just recreating the scene from the first game.
Alright.
Mhm.
It's in the trailer.
That's for people like you.
Holding the bow still bugs me. That
What?
scene of her holding the bow still bugs the shit out of me.
Why?
She has such noodle arms, There's like no strain in her holding this taut bow. It's just like,
What's the movies coming out this year?
I don't know. We could look that
Well,
up.
there's one that's coming out called "It's Almost 12:30." Let's end this podcast.
Yeah.
Wow,
That sounds pretty good.
Yes.
Wow, it really is.
Yes, it is.
That we started talking about MK at about 10:43.
Yes, you did.
We did the entire run length of the movie talking about the movie. So I think this podcast you want to do is gonna go just fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in
As long
to
as
this
I'm not
episode
proven wrong as much anymore.
of the podcast and stuff. All right. Do we have another random fact in this episode?
Oh yeah, dude, those
Okay.
are so fun. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna write down a number, and Mike pick a number.
51.
51. Okay, so we're going to subtract 51 from the number I wrote, 13, to give us 38.
38. That's not a good one. Pick again.
Let's try the 51 then. There you go.
Bin Laden's death was announced the 1st of May, 2011. Hitler's death was announced the 1st of May, 1945. Mortal